Hi guys. We'll wait for a few more people to come in here. Who do we got on? Photo Kisses, welcome. Well, I'm sure a few more people will come on, but in the meantime, my name is Mike Federer, and I am a wedding and portrait photographer based in Bettendorf, Iowa. And I photograph a lot of weddings. I'll do 30 this year. But I really wanted to share with you guys one of the things that I've purchased that has made my life as a wedding photographer so much easier. As a wedding photographer, I carry a lot of gear with me, and it's usually taken myself and an assistant a couple a carry-on suitcase. It usually takes me and an assistant a couple of trips back and forth to the car to get all the gear inside the wedding venue or the ceremony or what have you. But a couple of weeks ago, I purchased an item called the Rock and Roller Cart, and I've made a few modifications to it so we can literally wheel in all of our gear at one time, and it also serves some other purposes as well. So, hey Felix, how are you? Thanks for joining again. So anyway, this is the Rock and Roller Cart, and I'll go through and show you everything that I carry any given wedding day, and the modifications that I've made to make it much easier on us. So again, we're inside my studio here in Bettendorf, but I've got this all set up, and basically this is what we'll do once we get to the wedding. The cart itself is, again, this a Rock and Roller multi-cart, but you can see this is all of the stuff that I will carry with me during a wedding day. I've got two big rolling bags. This one will carry all the camera gear and lenses, and then this one will carry studio lighting, which we also take for formals. Anytime I need extra lighting, at receptions, things of that nature. But this rolling cart is awesome because not only do you see it the way it is, but it also expands to twice its length with simply just a couple of unscrewing these two thumb screws here, these wing bolts. And then the cart extends to twice the length. And then the sniper, yeah, I need that to protect this cart. You're right. There's a lot of gear on board here, a few $1,000s worth. But that's a good question, Photo Kisses. Yeah, I mean we obviously keep an eye on this, and generally speaking, when we roll into the reception, this will be behind the DJ booth. Is generally where we will position the cart so that at least the DJ is sitting there the whole time, so that makes it a little easier. But anyway, as you can see, I also, in purchasing the cart, I got this accessory, which is this shelf that serves as a table. It literally just bolts into place. I've made this modification for one. They had a bolt and wing nut going through that just took too much time to put together. So I simply got these snap bolts, if you will. It's just a wire that comes around and snaps into place on the other side. So that once we get to the reception, all I do is set up this table, usually while my assistant is out doing photographs at a park or at a bar or wherever the couple decides to go. I go straight to the reception, get this all set up, and I start shooting details. But the cool thing is that aside from the shelf being on here and how serviceable it is or how usable it is, I've also found another company called Grip and Gaff, and they've made these bags specifically for this cart. And I purchased two, obviously, one for my hard items, i.e. light stands and tripods and monopods, and then on the other side, I wanted to use this side as a soft bag, in other words, for my softer items like umbrellas. These Westcotts, for instance, are $100 a piece. They're 7-foot umbrellas. I don't want to damage them packaging in them, carrying them in the same light stand bag. So any other soft items, I've got small bags in here that I use, other light modifiers down below. So that keeps everything kind of separated and easy to get to. Aside from that, obviously, once we get to the reception, we can take out all of this stuff, all the gear out, and set it on top for easy access. So I've got an instant reach for anything that I need throughout the wedding night, or wedding day for that matter. A couple of other things here, obviously I've got the camera bodies. I've got a 5D Mark III, two 6Ds, various lenses, 70 to 200, the 100 prime, 24 to 105, 50 prime, and an 85 prime. I also take along the battery charger, so no matter where I am. What if there's no ramp? That's another reason why I have a strong assistant. We can literally just pick up the cart end by end and take it up any steps that we might have to deal with. Quick battery charger. If I have a phone go dead, I can quickly charge my phone right from this. I don't have to worry about an outlet. One of the first things that we'll do when we get to the reception is obviously all this camera gear will be packed inside this particular bag. So the first thing I do is I get the shelf set up, but then I also will take, I'm going to set the phone down here for just a second. Okay, sorry guys. I will actually set up the bag crosswise here, or perpendicular to the cart, and open them up so that we have easy access to anything that we might need out of the bag. Now obviously if I'm behind the DJ and I'm at a reception, it's dark. The skin tones are fine with the Canon. The other thing that I will do is once we get there, I've purchased these puck lights and just a piece of Velcro on the back here, so that when it is dark and the cart is extended, I actually have room for two bags, for both of these bags on this same cart. And what I've done is stuck a piece of Velcro on the underside of the shelf, so if I need lighting, put that into place, hit the puck light, now I've got light right down into my bag. So I can obviously just, that's so helpful in a dark venue near the DJ. But the other cool thing is if I really need to find something quickly, pull the light off and I can search through the bag. Clever? Or clever, okay, yeah. Thank you. So again, it's really, really cool, really handy. And again, this is twice the length once we actually have it at the venue. So literally I have both of the big bags side by side on the cart that we have access to. And the other shelf actually has another piece of Velcro here with a second puck light. So both shelves side by side will have two separate lights for each bag. But anyway, typo, that's what I figured. So anyway, this is the camera bag. And this again is, I usually carry two of the Alien B800s with me. Battery packs for them and power cords and any other accessories that I want to carry in that bag. But these things, these bags here, the gripping gaffs, I was actually thinking about using a hard case for golf clubs, because I wanted easy access to my stands without having to put everything on the floor. As you know, if you've ever been to a wedding or photographed a wedding, usually there's carpet on the floor and it's different color and all that. It's easy to lose things within that pattern. But this is really simple. I can keep everything together. There's a little buckle here that tightens everything down while traveling. But also when I need to get into it, I unsnap that, and now I've got easy access to all of my stands and everything stays together. It's not padded, although at the very bottom there is a hard piece, almost resembling a frisbee, so to speak, but it's a hard plastic underneath, so it's all supported. The bag is supported flat underneath the bag itself. The bag itself actually is designed to slide right over the handles. So even if I want to take these off, I just simply grab the top of the bag, slide it off of the handle, and then the cart for transport will actually fold down flat and fit in the back of the... Actually, I use my wife's Kia Sorento a lot. It fits nicely right in the back of the Kia. Anyway, I just want to give you guys a quick look at something that's really changed how I photograph weddings and made our lives a lot easier, and saving back pain and things like that as well. Any other questions really quickly? Oh, this is something else that I use here. Obviously we're dark. If I need to see something on top of the shelf, I just have this little reading lamp here that I can use to see everything on the table itself. I love the Spider holster. I really do, except that I have to keep it really tight, otherwise it starts to pull my pants down. You might imagine with the battery grips on here and the 70-200 attached to the 5D3, and then I actually have two of them. I wear two cameras at a time. So the 6D with the 24-105 or whatever other lens I put on the secondary camera, so I'm carrying two of them at a time. And if I don't have the belt tight enough, it starts to pull my pants down, which can be embarrassing. Let's see here. 600 EXRTs I love. And of course the transmitter for those. Really, flexibility is great with these things. The radios are already built into them. It is still better than straps. I've been down that road too, And as you know, if you've used a strap, every time you bend over, the cameras come forward, they bang into things, and it really makes it kind of a pain in the ass. But so, it's an ever-changing thing with gear. I have gas, I have gear acquisition syndrome, so it never fails. Something new comes out, I want to go out and buy it. And just don't tell my wife. What else? Anything else, guys? Quick look around the studio. We got I'm working on doing some editing and things of that nature, but just a quick look around my studio here. We also have a in-house wedding DJ and an in-house wedding linen provider, and we also have a preferred vendors list for florists, makeup, venues. Basically, we've tried to create a one-stop shop here. This is the gear room. This is basically what I've acquired over the past 10 years of being in this business. This is the the charging station. Obviously a bunch of grip on the walls here. And then on this side I have more light stands and modifiers and some props. I don't do a lot of studio work because most of my stuff is on location. What do you mean by sharing the studio? Take you back through a walk here. We actually have a display here as soon as you come in the entrance. With other vendors, not generally. The studio itself isn't very big. This is basically the shooting area here. So obviously I have some backdrops hanging from the walls. I do a few corporate headshots here locally. So basically these three seamless paper rolls here are used for headshots. And then I've got some longer 9-foot rolls here on the wall that I use for bigger groups, of course, or anything more creative. But I don't rent it out to anyone. Quite frankly, it's just I don't want to have to worry about someone else's schedule if I need to come in and use my studio. Hopefully it doesn't come off as being selfish, but I need to be able to jump here. This is about 10 minutes away from my home, so it makes it really easy to just jump in the car and come to the studio and not have to worry about somebody else being here on a weekend or on a Sunday, let's say, and have to work around that. So again, some more of my work here. This is actually a leather print here as opposed to canvas. It's really cool. More canvases. Yeah, that's, believe it or not, guys, all of this stuff that you see in the gear room right now and everything I got out on the cart used to have to go in my basement. By basement, I mean we have to live in a split foyer, so it's a finished basement, but I also have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, both boys, and they have toys everywhere, so it was taking up a lot of their space as well. So being able to get all of this out and into a studio is much, much nicer. DJ's office is back here. He does about 160 weddings a year. He has about 6 guys working for him as DJs, guys and gals, I should say. And then this is the office of Cody, who is our linen provider, who does all of the decorations, seat covers, things of that nature for the venue. There's one of my monsters. That's Keaton. We call him El Diablo because he is the devil. Good thing he's cute, otherwise I'd spank him hourly. Some more of my work on the walls here. Part of a bridal session. I do private bridal sessions for some of my brides who wish to do so. And then my other son, Noah, who's a big fireman fan. We actually got to, in a wedding that I photographed in California a couple years ago, we actually got to board, one of the uncles in the family was a fire chief, so we got to go down and ride the actual fire engine and lights and siren and hook up to hoses and all that good stuff, spray water, so it was really cool. Anyway, a little break station, coffee, bathroom, my office. So this is my mess here. And then my assistant works here. She's more or less my office manager, the studio manager. Her name is Carol. She does a fantastic job for us. The last shoot went very well. Actually, I just had one this past Saturday, of course, and probably the most fun group that I've ever photographed as far as a bridal party goes. Usually during weddings there's at least, how do I say it, there's at least one groomsman who's kind of a jerk, but this entire bridal party were so friendly and so helpful and fun to joke around with that it was an absolute pleasure to to photograph the wedding. You know, and even aside from that, they invited us to stay after the wedding after we got gear put away, and we sat down with the group and we got to. I literally sat down and had beer. We had beer with these guys, and you know, we create a lot of friendships that way. It doesn't just end at the wedding. Um, it's great. I love this business. It's a really great opportunity to be able to be at these events for these people. Yeah, the party bus was cool. I wanted to do some more of that stuff, Felix, but you know, as weddings go, sometimes you just don't have the time to even grab a phone, but to do any periscoping. But I haven't done any for a while, so I wanted to get back out and you know, kind of show you guys. I plan to do more of gear things like this, or just kind of daily life as of what I have to go through, and you know what we do on a day-to-day basis here at the studio. So thanks again for joining. If you guys have any questions, you know, certainly hit me up at photographyportraits@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer those for you. Other than that, I appreciate you guys stopping in, and stay tuned. See you soon. Thanks.